welcome. My name is Susan Hackett, and I'm the CEO of Legal Executive Leadership, a law department consulting firm that I started after spending 22 years as the general counsel of ACC, which is what brings me here to this conversation today, because in that former life, I had the privilege of working with a number of folks at Street Law and within the corporate legal community to help develop what we now know as the Street Law Diversity Pipeline Project. And it started by asking corporate legal departments to adopt local street law programs and help teach classes and engage in moot courts and adopt, if you will, street law schools all around the country. And as a result of my work with ACC, I also had the great privilege of being able to work with our good friend who's joining us today, Jim Leipold. And I'm really excited that you've joined us to talk a little bit about how it is that the Diversity Pipeline Project, which started with law firms, kind of got moved and transmogrified to also extend into the law firm community through your leadership. So welcome, Jim, and start off by telling us a little bit about NALP and how NALP got involved.
Sure. Thanks, Susan. It's great to be with you today. NALP is essentially the professional association for the people who work in law schools and do career counseling and guidance for law students as they transition to their first job, and the people on the legal employer side who recruit, train, onboard, and then work with young lawyers as they move into the employment setting and continue their careers. NALP is 50 years old this year, and we started at a time when
Congrats, that's cool.
Discrimination was more overt, and NALP was committed to the principle that every law student should be able to apply for every job, and that students should be able to compete for work sort of regardless of where they went to law school and regardless of their religion and their race and ethnicity. And that's really, the origin story of NALP. So in that sense, the Legal Diversity Pipeline Program just always fits squarely within our core identity.
Well, and your organization kind of is a bridge for law students into law firm practice, and between law school leaders and law firm leaders who are both collaborating on bringing that talent out of the law school pipeline and successfully centering it in a firm. So what kind of a role did the pipeline project play beyond offering a complement to those kinds of diversity commitments? What else did it offer to the firms that were in the NALP community and the law schools that were sending these students forward?
Yeah, NALP has a core commitment to increasing the diversity and equity in the legal profession. And based on the work we've done over the years, we really feel that for each of our member institutions that has a similar commitment to DE&I, that part of their work has to include pipeline work. And pipeline work at every point along the pipeline. And we don't care where people intervene. There's so much important work to be done. So work with a grade school, work with a high school, work with a law school. We urge our members to make a commitment as part of their diversity initiative to do some pipeline work. So the opportunity to work with Street Law on this gave us an opportunity to provide the firms that wanted one a turnkey solution to that, and a structure, support, a curriculum, lesson plans, and a meaningful way to intervene in the high school classroom and begin to help young people think about, in a meaningful way, what does a legal career or a career related to the law look like, and how might that fit with their own education and career development ideas.
Well, and this is such a natural fit in so many ways, because Street Law itself as an organization, as you know, was created with a bunch of law students who all saw the need to start to translate legal concepts for those who were, in the case of those original programs in high schools, but also into law school. And I think that one of the things we can both agree on is that working in a law firm is a tough transition. When you come out of law school, you may not be equipped or ready for everything that is going to come your way as an early life lawyer, if you will, in a firm. And I was hoping you might talk with us a little bit about the benefits to law firms and young lawyers in those firms of being able to participate in these kinds of programs beyond the DE&I commitment, just skill sets, just those transitional kinds of supports that a street law program can benefit.
One of the great things about a law firm that adopts a Street Law High School is it gives lawyers and staff across skill levels, across practice areas, an opportunity to work together on a project that's essentially feel good and that takes them out of their daily silo in the law firm, and they can work on a common mission. And I think, we know that the youngest generations of students coming to us as young lawyers are very committed to finding work that has value for them and that is mission driven. And law firms, more than ever, particularly now that we're in this weird hybrid world, are committed to trying to preserve and create culture in their workplaces, which means people have to know each other, which means they have to work together outside of just a practice group or a particular task or assignment. So I think law firms often come to this because they value the commitment to pipeline work and diversity work, but some of the unintended benefits and consequences, the team building and the morale building that they're able to achieve by you can bring staff and lawyers together on this, and lawyers at different levels. So it's really been valuable. I think the firms that have done it could, provide great testimony to that, the kind of community they've built.
And in a time when we're kind of dealing with an awful lot of concern about lawyer job satisfaction and, what a lot of people are calling the great resignation, and, the idea that there's not as much opportunity to feel fulfillment across the spectrum for what a lawyer can contribute. Street law is a great complement to the kinds of programs that law firms may already have for things like pro bono, which is also an incredibly important thing for firms to not only encourage, but for young lawyers to be able to participate in. But what a nice complement that this can offer to bring forward those new roles. I think the other thing that I've seen in the corporate program that's a parallel is something that you've mentioned, which is this idea of people who are on teams working in the same organization, but who really haven't had a chance to work together, being able kind of across practice groups or across generational divides, cats and dogs living together, senior partners and junior associates, actually spending time collaborating on a project where everybody can have a contribution that is going to be valued. So are you seeing additional kinds of benefits like that allow law firms to see a value to this project that may be beyond those kinds of things we've already discussed?
I think, we're in this moment where there's just tremendous focus on ESG and the role that firms and corporations play in their communities. And this is a way to give back to the community. We try to pair law firms with a local high school, and so it creates a profile for the firm in the community that's not about litigation or law and order or investigation, but as actually contributing in the community in a positive way with young people. And so I think that's another real benefit and value to the program.
Yeah. Well, Jim, I think that all of these ideas and all of these benefits are of terrific help to firms in your network, to departments in the law department community. And I just want to thank you and congratulate NALPA on its 50 years, but thank you for your commitment to driving forward the street law program and to helping us deliver that much more opportunity to students who are interested in law as a career or who are interested in learning more about law as a subject. So thanks for joining us today and appreciate your time.
Thanks, Susan. It's always great to connect.
You as well.